Hi guys, welcome to another episode, or actually should I say the first episode of Operation Sund Dune, certainly from my point of view of the updates. Now if you've been on the channel and you've been looking around, you will have seen, hopefully, the discussion that Andy Singleton and Sam Phillips and I had just the other week, I believe. It's very popular at the moment. Warlord have been putting it out in the newsletter. And views are really ramping up, so I would encourage you to go watch that. It's a good discussion about the kind of how we got into the project, what our aims are for the future with this project, and where we're going to go from here. Today's video that I wanted to do with to put up was or is kind of an introduction from my point of view. You know, what am I going to be doing for this project? So to start off with, as I mentioned in the discussion, I've got a plan for two forces, which I'll be going over in more detail later on in this video. They're both roughly 650 points each. One is an early war army list with British, the 8th Army, Desert Rats. And then the second is an Indian Army force, sort of mid to late war, 1942 Operation Lightfoot. And again, they're roughly 650 points, very similar setup to the Desert Rats, but will be slightly different. So that's kind of what I've got in mind. I want to expand at some point. Once I've got these two forces done, I want to get an Italian army, particularly for an early war, like 1940 kind of list, so that we've got some opposition. And eventually I'll also want to do an SAS behind enemy lines list. So I've got a lot in mind. I don't know how quickly I'll get through it. I've still got my other project going on at the same time, my early war, sort of Battle of Belgium lists going. Some of them getting very close to completion. Actually, my Belgians are probably three units away from actually being completed totally. So I'm really pleased with that. My French, I think complete. They just need painting, and my British need a few more units added to it. I think definitely another infantry section. But anyway, that's another video. So not only am I going to be building those armies, not only am I going to be giving you kind of update videos like this, but I also wanted to do some other videos. So I'd like to do sort of tutorial inspirational videos, looking at certain bits of terrain that I'm going to be building for the desert. Things like minefields, sand dunes, quicksand areas, various bits of impassable terrain, which can really dominate the battlefield. So I've got those videos I want to put up. I want to do some battle reports. Now probably once I get started on doing the North Africa ones, battle reports, I'll probably end up to start off with running my desert figures, my desert army against some early war blitzkrieg Germans, just as opposition for now. Once I get my Italians up and running, we'll actually have some real competition, and we'll be able to kind of play a more historically accurate mission or game, which is what I want to get to. So I'll be doing that. I'll hopefully be writing some articles as well that Warlord can hopefully put in the newsletters. On top of that, what else am I doing? Probably do some product reviews. Definitely the Perry's miniature figures for the Desert Rats. I'll be doing that. Might do one for Sir Christopher Lee. He's a Warlord figure. I'll be looking at the British late war plastics from Warlord, which I'll be using and converting for my Indian Army. Some of the vehicles I'll be doing, I think I'm getting a Vickers light tank and a Crusader tank, so I'll be doing a couple of reviews on those. On top of that, I will also be reviewing Duels in the Sun and possibly Tank Wars as well. So lots of videos to come. Very exciting. I'll be hopefully putting up lots of pictures. In this video particularly, because it's just hard to see these figures, I will be taking some close-up pictures of them, and I'll be sharing them on this video with you. So just check out those. Wait for those. So let's go through my army. So, I have two lists. I have an Operation Compass list, which is 1940 to 1941. That's what I've started working on. Operation Compass, we'll go into more detail in another video, probably maybe even do a history of it, about it. But the list I've got 600 and I think 49 points in total. Yeah, I'm one short of my overall goal. 13 order dice for those that are interested. It has a second lieutenant with an infantryman. That's my radio man and my officer, and they're just up here, which you can't see, but you will get pictures of those shortly. I'm then going to have 2 regular infantry sections of 7 men each, with all rifles except for 1 LMG. I've got a medic, which I've converted a British officer from the Perry's figures to make him a medic. Bit of green stuff around, made him a medic's armband. That was pretty cool. Again, pictures to come. Free forward observer for the artillery, and that's going to be Sir Christopher Lee. He's going to take that role. And then I'm going to have an inexperienced infantry section of 7 men with 1 LMG and the rest rifles. The reason why I've gone for an inexperienced is because I kind of was getting to the end of my points and I wanted an extra infantry section in there. They're 69 points for the inexperienced compared to the 90 points for regular. So to be able to get in under my total, I had to go for inexperienced. And I kind of like it from the historical point of view because, you know, there were regular troops there who had some experience, who regularly trained. But then you had those who were coming in as reinforcements. And so to have that 1 infantry section, I think really does kind of give some, kind of makes that comparison of, you know, having or paints the picture of having reinforcements come in and not maybe as confident or as knowledgeable as the others that have already been there. And so that'll play really nicely in the game, I think. It'll be interesting to practice with this team and play with this force to see how it works, because, you know, obviously you don't want to be putting your weakest unit, like your inexperienced infantry, into the part of the line which needs to hold firm, which needs to be strong and repel the attackers. So, or even to attack an important area. So it'll be interesting to see how they play. So yeah, national characteristics, I added the rapid fire to them. I really like that rule. When you have 3 riflemen, instead of rolling just 3 dice, you actually roll a 4th dice as well. So you get 4 shots for 3 riflemen. So if you've got a group of 9, you're not firing 9 rifles, you're firing 12 rifles. So that's a really nice rule. I quite like that. It gives a little bit more weight and firepower. Can be very useful for suppressing units. I'm also going to have a machine gun team and a anti-tank rifle team and a light mortar. I have actually built the light mortar. I've got to get the anti-tank rifle and the machine gun team from Perry's, so that'll be on an order list very soon. Also going to go for a 25 pounder. I'm actually using the Warlord 25 pounder, and I got it with BEF figures so I could use it for my early war force. I'm actually going to get Perry's 25 pounder crew in the desert uniform and put that with it as well. So a little bit of mixing and matching shouldn't make it too much of a difference, and that will just put it into kind of the context of the period. And then we'll have the Vickers light tank. At 85 points for a regular, I was quite pleased with that, and it is iconic. I couldn't really have a force in the desert without one. And then I've got 2 3-ton Bedford trucks, which hopefully will give my force some mobility. I know the desert, it was a lot about mobility, you know, in terms of moving units forward to the front and travelling quite large distances. You know, you needed mobile forces. You couldn't have units that didn't have that sort of transport capability. So that's the Operation Compass list. And all of these lists, I should say, came from the Armies of Great Britain book. Okay, the Operation Lightfoot and the Operation compass were both from the theatre selectors in this. I am looking forward to getting the Jewels in the Sun book because it has the Indian Army list, and that will slightly change my Operation Lightfoot list. So for Operation Lightfoot, I am going for an Indian Army. I will, I think, get an additional inexperienced 10-man section because of the Indian Army rule in the new book, which I'll check out when I get it. But just to run through, it's actually 650 points on the dot. It's 12 order dice this time, and one of it actually will be 13 when I get that free infantry section. The units are slightly more expensive in the mid to late war period compared to the early war. So instead of 90 points for a regular infantry section of 7 men, you're paying 93 points. So possibly why I've got less units. Although really, when you look at it, I have exactly the same number of units. So I don't know. But anyway, let's go through it. So we have our second lieutenant with infantrymen. We have 2 regular infantry sections, again 7 men, 1 with the LMG, 5 rifles and 1 SMG this time, because mid to late war you can have your NCO with a submachine gun, so that was good. That might actually explain the additional points, the extra 3 points. Good. Then we got a forward artillery observer. Again, I'll be getting a figure for that. We then have the inexperienced infantry section. Again, 7 men, same setup as the regulars. National characteristics of rapid fire. Have a machine gun team, an anti-tank rifle team, and a light mortar team. And then instead of the 25-pounder, I've gone for a 2-pounder anti-tank gun. I was thinking that sort of Operation Lightfoot, it's probably going to be coming up against German armour, so it was worth having that in the list. So they're there. Then I've got my Crusader tank, which is probably my most expensive piece out of both lists. It comes in at 125 points for a regular, but it has got a 8+, which is about reasonable for this sort of period in terms of armour. It's got a good penetration value with the light anti-tank gun of +4, and it's got HE with that as well, plus the coaxial machine gun. So quite a lot of firepower from that Crusader. Should be quite useful. And if I can support it with infantry, I hopefully will be doing well. I have 2 3-ton trucks as well with that force. So I think both forces will be very fun to play with. I'm really looking forward to them. And they're going to be, I think, just enjoyable. Enjoyable to make, enjoyable to paint, and enjoyable to play with. So look out for all those videos to come. If you have any thoughts, suggestions, questions, anything you'd like to see, perhaps maybe in terms of terrain, I will be building minefields, doing tutorials on those, and kind of escarpments and other sort of obstacles. But if you have any questions or you want to see anything, please pop it down in the comments box or send me a message on Facebook. If you've we won't get to that stage just yet. What I'm going to do, I'm going to leave you with some pictures of the units I've got at the moment. So far I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a bit units. I have actually done 10 men. I only need 7 of them, so I'm going to have 3 towards my next section, so that should be good. So, yeah, at this point I will now say, if you like this video, please like it, share it, please comment, and if you like this video or any of the other videos, please feel free to subscribe to the channel, and I will leave you with some pictures of these guys, and I'll see you very soon in another episode. Okay, take care.